Welcome back to the Catholic Counseling Classroom in this 10-video free learning series, Scrupulosity and Intrusive Thoughts for Catholics. Here at the Catholic Counseling Institute, we integrate the beauty of the Catholic faith with the wisdom of modern psychology to give you real tools for real life. I'm Amber Pilkington, Catholic therapist, wife, mother, and woman who is deep comforted by knowing that saints had messy thoughts too. Today we're going to be talking about something that you might not know. Some of our greatest saints fought battles with scrupulosity too. Their struggles and their victories can teach us powerful lessons about God's mercy, our human weakness, and the real meaning of holiness. If you've ever felt ashamed of your scrupulous thoughts or worried that they meant that you just lacked faith or weren't doing this Catholic walk right, take heart. Scrupulosity isn't a sign that you're far from God. It's not a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's actually a sign that you care deeply about your relationship with God and about loving Him well, and that your brain's alarm system is just a little too sensitive. Saints are not people who never struggled. Saints are people who are able to trust in God's mercy and overcome their fears. I'd like to introduce you to a few of my favorites. The first is Saint Alphonsus Liguori. He's the patron saint for scrupulous mind. Before he became a priest and doctor of the church, he was a brilliant young lawyer, often obsessed about whether he made tiny mistakes. He later confessed that in the early years of his religious and faith life, he would agonize about whether he had confessed correctly. In time, he realized that constant self-examination, meaning analyzing and overanalyzing his thoughts, was actually a trap. Then he made it part of his mission to teach others that trusting in God's mercy over their feeling of being forgiven is where peace actually comes from. Saint Alphonsus eventually found peace, not by resolving every doubt, but by learning how to trust in God's mercy, even with feelings screaming on the inside. He learned to tolerate the uncertainty and not fall for the trap or engage with overanalyzing his thoughts. The second is Saint Ignatius. After his dramatic conversion, Saint Ignatius experienced periods of intense scrupulosity that he called spiritual desolation, times when he doubted everything good that he had done. He feared hidden sins and felt paralyzed by guilt. But Saint Ignatius didn't give up. He developed one of the greatest tools for discerning between real religious movements and fake or anxious ones: his rules for the discernment of spirits. One rule that he taught: in times of desolation, never make a spiritual decision. This is wise counsel. It means we don't let our feelings make decisions. We challenge them. We analyze the truth of them. And that's how we decide the next right steps. When you're feeling anxious, guilt, or panicked, don't trust the guilt. Don't trust the anxiety. Trust what God has shown you in peace, what your logic knows to be true. Third, my favorite, you might think the little flower floated through life perfectly peaceful and trusting in God. Nope. Saint Thérèse also experienced intense spiritual fear, sometimes worrying that she offended God without even knowing why. What saved her? What brought her peace? It wasn't figuring it all out. It wasn't being 100% certain. It was trust and acted in behaviors. What pleases God is to see me love my littleness and poverty. Saint Thérèse teaches us that holiness isn't found in having all the answers, in being completely certain. It's about letting ourselves be little. It's trusting the goodness of God and not trying to white-knuckle our way to perfection. Saint Alphonsus, Saint Ignatius, Saint Thérèse are not only examples of holiness, but are also beautiful examples about how to confront scrupulous thoughts. Feeling doubt and fear doesn't disqualify you from holiness. God's mercy is bigger than your anxious brain, and that trust grows not from certainty, but by choosing to tolerate uncertainty, guided by hope and trust. Struggling with scrupulosity does not mean that you lack trust in God. It means you love Him and have a tender conscience and an anxious brain caught in well-worn loops of anxiety. Leaning into that trust can help give us the strength to do the behaviors, or rather to not do the things, that will ultimately bring us peace and freedom. If this video lifted a little weight off your shoulders, you're exactly who we created this learning series for. You can continue to watch the next video now. It'll pop up on the screen at the end of this one. And if you want to go deeper, I would love to invite you to the full course, Freedom from Scrupulosity and Intrusive Thoughts, a Catholic Educational Approach. It is designed specifically for Catholics just like you, who want to better understand scrupulosity, intrusive thoughts, and the tools available for healing. My goal was to make this course the most extensive, accessible, and affordable course in the Catholic online space. In this course, you'll learn how to recognize scrupulosity and intrusive thoughts through a Catholic and psychological lens. Practical, step-by-step strategies rooted in sound psychology and faithful to Catholic teaching. You'll also learn how to build a greater trust in God, tolerate uncertainty, and live freely. This course involves hours of video lessons, 170 slides that you can download and print to follow along. There's also a workbook with over 100 pages of practical tools, guided reflections, and supportive resources to help you apply what you're learning to your daily life. And while it's not a replacement for professional counseling, it's structured to give you clarity, confidence, and hope. Whether you're just starting this journey or looking for deeper support, you'll find a link to learn more in the video description below. I would be honored to walk with you. Your anxious thoughts and feelings do not disqualify you from God's love and holiness. You are called to holiness through your struggle, not once it's over. Thanks for hanging out with me today in the Catholic Counseling Classroom. I'll see you in the next video.